Today's section is over pre-writing. We're going to just discuss the importance of it in this little mini video. So we're going to move our little trusty friend, my dragon. Here's just a little view of your book. And in your book, this is a discussion, a highlight over some of the points in generating ideas in text that is listed on your syllabus. And I don't read the whole chapter to you. I'm just highlighting different parts of it as you read the chapter, so you'll understand a little bit more and be able to apply it to your own writing. So let's move our book out of the way. Now, obviously you will be required to do some writing assignments this semester. You've got essays to write, you have journals to write, you have some exercises to do, but also not just in this class, but maybe in other classes or with your bosses, or if you're the boss, then you have to write memos and letters. So usually we're faced with this blank page, and pre-writing is a strategy that helps when you look at a blank page and your first response is, help! Nothing's coming. So pre-writing helps us figure out what we want to say, how we want to say it, and helps generate ideas. So let's move to my pre-writing page. Let's just move Mr. Help down. So let's keep going a little bit more. Pre-writing is actually what saves the day. So pre-writing helps relax, helps relax your brain, your creative brain. Because usually people are distracted by other obligations and responsibilities in their lives, or they're fearful when they come to a writing assignment. So we have to kind of change gears, and pre-writing gets us into the gear of writing without requiring a super duper 100% perfect outcome. So it relaxes our brain. It also helps us let ideas float into focus. If I'm distracted by my children, problems at school, if I'm distracted because I have a major project at work, or if I'm just distracted from being tired, or distracted from fear of that blank page, pre-writing helps us just let ideas come to the surface, and they don't have to be perfect ideas. The next thing is it actually gives permission to your creative side to bring solutions to the table. If I'm so tight and tense and worried, then it's really hard to have solutions to problems. And if I give you a writing assignment, your teacher gives you a writing assignment, and I have all that other life in the way, then it's really hard to have solutions to that writing assignment. The answer to the question in a 700 to 900 word essay be on the table. So pre-writing gives permission to your creative side to let all that other stuff go and not be perfect. And that's a really important point. It's very, I don't know any writer, professional writers or otherwise, that sit down and the very first thing out of their head onto the paper is perfect. So we have to let go of that ideal, and pre-writing helps us do that. So let's see. Pre-writing is like priming the pump. So your teacher is definitely not an artist, but this is a little picture of a pump when in old days, and maybe you have one in your backyard, or one of your grandparents, if you go visit, still has one out in a field. But this is supposed to be a field of grass with little flowers, and out there is the water pump. And this right here, if we move it up and down, the first stuff that comes out is gunk, is dirty, sludgy water. But as we move this up and down, pretty soon, clear, beautiful, bluish, maybe water comes out that we can actually drink. And that is what pre-writing does for us, is it gets the gunk out of the way so that we can get pure, beautiful writing down on the page. Now, if I didn't do the pump long enough, my water wouldn't come out clear. So just kind of have that image in the back of your mind while we move on to the different kinds of pre-writing. So pre-writing is both non-writing and writing. Non-writing would be thinking. So pre-writing means it's the work you do before you sit down to write your completed, perfect, wonderful memo, research paper, or letter. And the first thing is you just think about it. You know, I doubt that many of you, before you turned on this little mini video, actually thought, if I were going to Mars, what 3 things would I take with me? Well, that was one of the questions in one of our classes here at EPCC. So we need time to kind of think about that. And that question came out of right after Hurricane Katrina, when people were having to take things with them, and sometimes they pick the wrong things. And after it was over, they were like, oh man, I wish I would have had my important papers. So if we think, just kind of let ideas simmer, that's a pre-writing strategy. Another strategy is talking to our friends and to other people about a question. What would you do if you were presented with a situation, you know, in a hurricane? What 3 things would you want to take with you? Or a trip to Mars? Another is to do some research, do some reading on them, whatever topic you get. And we're not talking where you read and copy and paste and put it in your paper. That's called plagiarism. But just to get some ideas. It's just, remember, it's before writing your own paper. Now, the next series of videos are going to talk about other writing strategies. And the first one is going to be clustering. So I'm going to turn this off and we'll start a new video. So be sure to go to the next one.